So I'm looking at the latest development from Honda, the Zero Saloon and the Zero SUV. Full electric, futuristic vehicles. This one, the design, ambitious. They've put an emphasis on the sort of lightweight appearance while maintaining space on the interior. You're in the future, man. Sunset gradient, turn signal. Mo, show the people. Look at this. Damn. The Honda Zero Saloon is going to be the flagship. This is the model that represents this new identity. If you look at the design of this thing, what you're gonna see is straight walls on either side. The doors and the glass, rather than what they typically do, sort of curving inward, they follow this straight line. And what that means for you is that even though you have what looks like a slim or thin profile, which is also incredibly low, you're actually getting more space, or at least a feeling of space on the inside because of this particular design decision. It has a retro feeling to it while still feeling new. And speaking on that retro aspect, if we come around back, this has to be one of the craziest areas. This rear taillight, which also acts as your signal indicator, and really for me sends a signal about where Honda is going and their willingness to embrace this new technology. For me, this reminds me of retro gadgets, but at the same time, it's not one of those mirrors. Each of these light strips can operate independently, and the startup sequence actually showcases that, and then the Honda badge pop up last as part of that sequence. Some other design decisions, since we're back here already, you can see we have this unusual pattern. It has a forged look. When you look at the inside from the top, I mean, it's dominated by this massive glass panel, and that again brings you back to this sort of airy experience. The floor, they've managed to get it extremely low and flat when you're inside. So even if you're in the rear seat, you feel like you've got tremendous amount of leg room. They have a steering yoke on the inside, and that's because of their target here for level 3 self-driving, eyes off the road self-driving. You also probably noticed that the doors don't have handles. They're meant to be automated. And this is extremely early at the moment, but this vehicle is supposed to sense your presence through facial recognition and actually unlock the car because of it. It's got LiDAR sensor integrated in the top, one of the more elegant integrations that I've seen. Some of them tend to look bulbous. This one sort of follows the line of the vehicle. And that LiDAR is one of the core sensors when it comes to that self-driving capability and obviously recognition of not just other cars, pedestrians, objects, animals. The headlights have a motorized cover when you lock the car and walk away, and then when you approach it and it senses your presence, then those will lift up. We have this grille on the bottom, which also is lit. The wheel selection, again, futuristic, obviously some sort of efficiency component as well because they're flat and covered. This one has no side mirrors, just cameras. Now, the eventual model may need to have side mirrors. For the moment though, that's a pretty cool look. Look at this. Is this the world's coolest turn signal? Damn, and the depth, like this 3D effect that it has, it might be the coolest aspect of the car. At first, it's a little shocking, right? You see it and you're like, that is really different. But then it becomes distinctive, like it grows on you as you look at it. I should also mention, I can't open this trunk right now, but it will be a functioning trunk, obviously, when the vehicle's ready. This is the Honda Zero SUV. Obviously here we have a familiar SUV stance with some of the same design language and styling from the Saloon. Straight line, maximizing glass, headroom, and the feeling of lightness and space on the interior. This one sort of has door handles. These are touch sensitive, but then the door is operated via a motor. Now in this case, we have sort of a more rugged look that you would associate with an SUV. We have a slightly more blunt front end. I mean, it still looks futuristic. We've got this black and white contrast going on, including our integrated headlights and still that new Honda emblem on the front. And the rear is all about maximizing volume and cargo as well as headroom in the back seat. Here you can see the trunk opening up. Obviously, plenty of cargo here. We're probably going to have folding seats, but one of the surprising things, something I haven't seen before, is these tables that fold down. A little bit of extra storage, but also for organization. If you're tailgating, camping, barbecuing, if you want to put your drinks there, they're on both sides as well. Flip those down. It's a unique idea. It's important to note that these vehicles aren't completely final. They're closer than a concept, but some things are subject to change prior to production. I should also mention at this point, both of the new vehicles have a target of 300 miles of range. So now we can get a better look at the interior here. on the Zero SUV. You can see you've got your steering yoke. They have maintained a signal indicator and a drive selector beside the steering yoke. The dash is dominated by this large display which sort of flows through the center, and then our cameras that are being used for side mirrors. So this is your cockpit. Obviously, when you switch to a steering yoke, you're gonna get this feeling of space and visibility where you would normally have your steering wheel. And with such an emphasis on self-driving and the move towards self-driving, the concept here is that the benefits outweigh the drawbacks of shifting to yoke-style steering. Some of this may change on the interior final product, but you can see we have wireless charging here at the moment. This model is not equipped with a passenger display, whereas on the Zero Saloon it is, which I'll show you in a moment. We have video for our rear view mirror, and that's going to be the same on the two vehicles. Now, the front is impressive, it's comfortable, but it's more impressive in the back. As you'll see here, I'm 6 feet tall and I have a lot of headroom here. Huge piece of glass. The windshield meets this center joint, and then it's basically glass the entire way back. Obviously, our window is glass, and we have this secondary small glass window here. But as you can see, I have that this was my driving position fairly far back, and I'm still having the feeling of tremendous space here. Yeah, the carpets are unusual, actually. There's a kind of abstract pattern there, and the floors are actually fairly flat. We do have a slight hump here. You're gonna see when we get into the Zero Saloon that it's completely dead flat. I think we can go to the saloon. So the doors here are also motorized, and the idea with the vehicle being intelligent and the vehicle being wise enough to actually interpret the individual that approaches it via facial recognition to then not only unlock the car, but actually open the car door as well. This is the idea. The other thing that it does when this door opens, the steering yoke spins in a completely upside down fashion to provide you with greater amount of room for entry and exit into the vehicle. So you can see as this door closes, the steering yoke spins and my seat moves forward into my driving position, which again, I would be recognized as a unique individual, and this setting would then be tuned for myself without a special input from a key or an app, but instead via facial recognition. So this display takes things a little bit further than on the SUV, because now we've also got a display here for the passenger, so it flows the entirety of the dash, and each of the two side mirror cameras are angled even a little bit more towards the driver. Now we've still got our drive selector, same for our signal indicator. Now the feeling of space in here is just massive. Honestly, it's not just a thing about glass. Like, they've lowered the floor here. It just feels bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside. I think that was what they were hoping to achieve, and that's definitely the case. Now back here, this feels like a living room. Of a 4-seat configuration is tremendous comfort, obviously, for 4 passengers. This flat and low floor gives a sense of space, almost like domestic comfort, you know, almost like a room, a little more than a vehicle. It's just a huge amount of flat carpeted space. The seating curls around you. They've got speakers integrated as well for more immersion, and a massive piece of glass, which you can appreciate even more from the rear than you can from the front, as well as that ambient lighting that flows around the entire perimeter of that piece of glass, and just how much ambient light we have. We've got a strip that travels around the entirety of the interior, just below the windows, this glass panel, footwell lighting, which also matches through this acrylic piece, also in this strip and in a strip in the rear there. Tons of different areas that you notice that they've implemented this ambient lighting, and part of it is how they're thinking about moods. The driving modes will not just manipulate the lighting, but they'll manipulate the sound, the fan speed, and the driving dynamics. So you can see the awaken setting is currently, as part of the preset, it's the economy driving mode, whereas if I switch to exhilarate, it's going to put it into a sports driving mode. It's going to change the amount of bass that I'm hearing. Of course, you're going to be able to edit these, but these settings are all about creating a particular mood. But in the long term, through the facial recognition, getting to know the individual that drives most frequently and what their settings normally are, it's going to be able to do a lot of this automatically. That's the goal. So if I select exhilarate, We get different sound settings, as you can see. So I can switch then to Awaken, for example. This is gonna change my lighting effects all over the place. Same goes for Unwind. And then if I switch to a parking mode like Serene, this will actually change the positioning of my chair, and it will spin that steering yoke back around, knowing that I'm in a parked position and maybe I wanna work on my laptop, maybe I just wanna relax. This Serene setting actually vibrates my seat a little bit in a subtle way. So when you select one of the modes and it switches is the best. Yeah, select it. It's crazy. That's one of the better ambient setups that I've seen the wildest ambient setups, and they went for it here. It really comes down to the volume and the amount of lighting that you can fit. The lighting under the acrylic armrest for the driver, it is also dynamic.
Whoa, that's cool.
You see what I'm saying? Now switch to another one, switch to Awaken. So this is a little bit brighter. This is to wake you up. Try Unwind. Orange is interesting. It's vibes in here, man. You're just back here.
You're being nestled by these?
Yeah, you're just back here. You're in the future, man. So you just imagine you come in here, you're in a bad mood, had an argument. You just click that Serene button, lean back, relax, let it melt away. Try meditation, let's see what it does. Meditation mode takes us somewhere above the Earth's atmosphere, into space, where we can recognize how small our problems actually are relative to the scope of the universe. So what do we have here? We have a brand new direction for Honda. We have fully electric Honda vehicles that look futuristic, that manage to look light from the outside with space on the inside. We have two to choose from. The SUV will actually launch first. So this will be the beginning of 2026. This will be some later point in 2026. Self-driving functionality level 3, eyes off the road, relaxation, LiDAR to pick up your obstacles. I'm extremely excited about more players in the EV space. To have a storied brand like Honda present these ambitious options is something I'm looking forward to.